was trying to say is that there seems to be a disconnect between ICT solution providers and what the schools need and those that are actually in designing of what needs to happen in schools. We find that most would be pushing an idea that we have to digitize, we have to move with the times, we have to catch up with the fourth industrial revolution. However, when you look at our schools, particularly the schools that we work in rural schools, some are still grappling with the basics, are still grappling with literacy and numeracy. So the disconnect, which I tend around to say that it means that we need to reconnect on strategy, on building solutions together that would be able to address the pain points that most of our schools are facing. A lot of providers. We are actually having a lot of providers. The only challenge is that we do not have those that are willing to tailor-make their solutions to fit with the needs on the ground. For instance, we have a lot of technology advancements, but most of them require connectivity. Now we know that data challenges in South Africa are quite a big thing. So you may find that it's a wonderful solution. We would like to deploy the solution, but it does not have an offline capability, for instance, or it does not have a capability of storing, or it requires continuous licensing, which may be the costs may be unaffordable for schools. So that's what I meant here. Two speakers that have spoken, I liked that they provided cases, direct cases, and they showed us what is it that they're trying to do. And both of them spoke strongly on collaboration, meaning it means that if that is the tone of this conference, I think that we would get somewhere by the end of the conference where we are able to say that this person is what they've tried to do, and this is how we can collaborate with them to address the solutions that we need. Look, we have been in the education space for over 15 years, and we've been through providing computer labs, we've been through teacher development, but what we are concentrating on now is to make sure that we concentrate on teacher development to make sure that we are able to help them to integrate curriculum delivery using technology. We are running a small pilot of around 23 schools. So how we work is that we would pilot and test models before we can see that we say that we are successful or not. So we are still in early days on this new pathway of making sure that we get educator buy-in and we are able to support educators to deliver education using ICT.
Yes, I think that in general there's a lack of engagement and collaboration between key stakeholders and the youth. Students have got obviously a lot to say, and there's a lot to be learned from students, particularly because they are directly within the midst of this technological evolution, and everybody else, us adults, are the ones trying to adapt to it. And thus there's a lot that we can learn through the direct engagement with students. And so that's really what we're trying to do through Voices Unite, is to really emphasize the need to have stakeholders engage between themselves, definitely, and having corporates, non-profit organizations, government and tertiary institutions collaborating and cooperating together. But at the center of that cooperation and that collaboration needs to be the voices of the youth. I think certainly there is that conflict, and particularly with the growing prevalence of online learning platforms. I think that traditional education is being undermined, but certainly the way to address those challenges is not to ignore that conflict, but to directly engage with it. And so it's important for us to be putting everybody in the same room and having the conversations and working towards a common goal instead of everybody working in isolation. I think that the themes of the event are spot on. A very strong focus on collaboration, a strong focus on the need to adapt and better understand technological advancement, and bringing stakeholders together to have these conversations. But as I mentioned in my talk, I think the one gap is that there's no youth here. There's no students here. And so I would say that is the one shortfall, not just with this summit, but with most events, most conferences, most forums. There needs to be a lot bigger emphasis placed on direct, meaningful engagement with students and with the youth in general.